Welcome to the Miss V and the Crew podcast on today, this beautiful Thursday. Even though it's snowing outside, a little wet, a little slippery, we made it on out here anyhow. Want to say thank you all for joining us and hope you all chime in with us on today. We are without one of our co-hosts on today, which is Miss V, but the crew is still here and we still going forward. So y'all come on in and join us on today.
Yeah. This is Lawanda. I am so happy to be back. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The snow is coming down and it's kind of sticky. And today is just a good day. I'm so glad to be here at Miss V and the crew. We are here, Miss Tempest and myself, and we're gonna make it do what it do. We miss our chief coach, Miss V, but we're gonna try to hold it down for her while she's not here, okay? And come on in, enjoy, talk with us. Come chime in, call us at 708-223-8953 if you want to just touch bases, have something to say, communicate with us. We want to hear from you today. Or either chime in on the comments, type in on the comments. We want to hear from you.
All right.
You tell who
Oh,
you are?
I didn't even tell y'all who I was. I am so sorry. So I am Tempest, and I'm one of the co-hosts here at the Miss V and the Crew podcast. You can find me on Facebook if you want at Tempest Marsall. You can find me on Instagram at TB Loving God. And you can also find me at Strengthen You Creations, a Facebook page for my custom-made t-shirts. You can find me there. All right. Check me out.
Yes. Well, last week, Miss V introduced us into a Thirsty Thursday, where she gave y'all a scenario of a man and his friends looking for some food to eat, and it's they went to someone for food to eat, and the man was so rude to them, said no, he's not giving them anything, and after he was so rude to them, one of the gentlemen went up to his wife and told him, look, your husband about to get murdered. Something about to happen to your husband because he's so mean. And the wife, in her wisdom, came and saved the day and ended up going and making sure that they all had something. So she wanted us to give you that answer. That I'm not sure if any of you got the answer last week. Was it from a story in the Bible, something that happened in real life, or just a make-up story? Well, I want to let you know it came from the book of 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter, where David and his crew wanted to have something to eat, and they went to Nabal. He sent one of the men over to Nabal to ask for something to eat, and Nabal was very mean to them and rude and everything, and sent them on their way. And the gentleman went to Abigail, and Abigail, in her wisdom, saved his life and bought them things to eat. And it ended up in the end that Nabal died. He got drunk. Next day, he died. She told him how foolish he was, and David ended up marrying her. She ended up being David's wife. So that's what the Thirsty Thursday was about last week, that Miss V gave you. So she's coming back next week with another Thirsty Thursday, she's coming back with another Thirsty Thursday, and she's gonna have a trivia for you all. Yeah. So just tune in and just tune in and see what you know. And today we want to talk about this thing that's trending, that's outside now. That's trending on TikTok and everything. And it just bothers me some days because I'm like, I know they telling a story. They lying, they fibbing, however you want to put it. It's called We Listen and We Don't Judge. Yeah. I was watching We Listen and We Don't Judge the other day when I seen a kid say, she said, Mom, you know how you fall asleep every day at the same time? And she said, yeah, why? She said, well, that's because I put some pills in your drink every night and you fall asleep. And then they go to say, we listen and we don't judge. No, I'm judging you now because you're trying to kill me. Right. And the mama said, I don't have no sleeping pills. She said, well, you putting Xanax in my drink? How many of you guys really would listen and not judge? I don't think I could do it.
Oh no. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna sit there and just not judge. I'm gonna pop them. First of all, I'm gonna take you and strangle you. Because what the heck you trying to do to me? Right. I'm gonna be the judge on that day. Believe me, I'm going to be the judge. How dare you sit there and tell me that you're doing this to me? How dare you even do this? Like,
Yes.
I think I don't know. I seen a couple of videos. I honestly just feel like I don't know if this stuff is really real or if it's just, them acting and playing as though it's real. But honey, ain't no way in God's name you gonna sit there and tell me. And then if I'm not mistaken, that's the same one. They talked about the mother's eyes because she
Right.
was kind of her eyes, kind
Cross.
of cross-eyed. And they talked about her, and then she was really getting angry.
I would
And
too.
they kept saying, "We listen, we don't judge."
And,
It's no way I could play that game, baby.
and
No.
there was one more, whereas
Mm-mm.
the husband said that, he played it with his wife, and then he said, "We listen and we don't judge." And he talked about how he cheated on her all through their marriage. Every time they was having intercourse, he was thinking about a star or
Celebrities.
somebody else.
Yeah.
He really wasn't into her. And when he said that he was working overtime, he was really with another woman. I feel like they taking that we listen and we don't judge challenge to the extreme
To
of
the extreme.
getting what's off their chest.
Yeah.
They want to tell these stories, and they want to tell how they really feel. They want to tell how they messed up or what's really on their mind, and they using that as an excuse.
Right.
You're not gonna use that as an excuse for me, so
Alright.
we not gonna even play it in our house. Because I'm going to jail.
Because I'm a judge, and yeah, it's not gonna be
Yeah.
pretty. It's not gonna be a pretty judgment day. Because ain't no way. Because he also told her, I think he said before she got her body done or something. If I'm not mistaken, I heard him say before you got your body done and we was having intercourse, I was always thinking of other people, like celebrities or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just feel like certain things that these people do on social media. I mean, everybody got their right to do what they want to do, but I just feel like some of the stuff they do, like you said, they taking it to a whole nother level, and they using social media to say the things, like you said, they've been wanting to say. How dare you say something to me like that? So the whole world can see or hear. Like, how much do you care about me?
Right.
For you to post that and put that in the atmosphere like that. Like I said, I don't know if it's just a trend, just a game, or if this thing is really real. But even if it's a game that they just putting out there just to see what people gonna do, it comes to what another one thing that we're gonna talk about being influenced by other people, right? Because if it's a game, it's influencing other people to do it, because you don't just have one video about, we listen and not judge. We got multiple with thousands of videos. So now that whoever started it influenced others to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's a game that they just actually playing or if this thing is really real. But no, it's no way, baby. I'm not playing that one. So don't even bring it to me.
Have any of our audience, have you ever played the game, and when you played it, was your feelings hurt, or did you feel some type of way about that person you played it with, or did you just free yourself because everything that was bottled up in you that you wanted to tell that person or say about that person, did you just get it off your chest and free yourself? I mean, that's a dangerous game to me.
Yes, I think
Especially in households, because from what I'm seeing on social media, it can break up a household. So be careful. I'm not saying don't do it, because some people are not as sensitive as I am.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying that when you do play the games, or when you do choose to pick out something off TikTok and Facebook to be inspired by, make sure you can handle it. Make sure it's nothing that will tear up, it'll build you and not tear you down.
Yeah.
So make sure it's that. And
because like I said, it's not that serious to me. I don't think everything, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think everything should be. I mean, but it's to each his own. Like you said, just know what you're doing and make sure it ain't something that's gonna, tear up your happy home.
Right.
And in a way, I kind of feel like too, if this thing is really real, I feel like it's a coward way of you coming out and saying what you've been feeling about me for all these years. This is a coward way. Oh, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna put you on live and I'm gonna talk about how I feel. Come on, who does that? Instead of manning up or womaning up, talk to me, without the people. knowing what the heck is
right.
going on in our world. Like, dude or girl, come on now, don't do that to me.
Well,
That's a coward way, I think.
And look at the children putting stuff. The girl said she wanted to sneak out the house.
Girl.
So she drugging her mama. She can go to jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
She drugging her mama every day. And then the little boy said, "Mom, every time you ask me to rub your back, I don't want to do it. I hate it." Well, that's innocent. That's innocent enough because sometimes you can ask your kids to do something they really don't want to do it. That's innocent enough.
Vice versa. When they ask us to do something, we don't always want to do it.
Right.
So shoot, that thing go both ways. Them kids actually, I don't want to do it all the time, but yeah, I'm gonna do it. But sometimes I don't, but we do it. So it's vice versa.
Yeah, but don't put nothing in your mama's drink.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't let these games influence you the wrong way.
And that's what Miss Tempest and I were talking about. What influenced you? What impacts you? What makes you go? What do you watch on social media or in your life or the people around you? What influences you? What keeps you going? What motivates you? Right?
Mm-hmm. Like what motivates you, or either we can say like how big of an impact does other people's influence like have on you? You know what I mean? Because it can be good or bad, right?
Right.
You know, like say for instance, you at work, and I'm gonna use this for an example. You at work and you running late. That used to be me a lot of times, just run late all the time.
You just did today. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't late today. I was on time. But then you be like, well, shoot, they be late all the time. Other people be late. He be late. She be late. Well, you feel like, well, shoot, if that's what we all doing, we being late.
So everybody get fired together?
I mean, but I'm just saying the influence though, right? The impact that somebody else's influence or whatever have on you. Sometimes you don't realize that it's really impacting your life until sometimes you look back and be like, dang, they was doing it and I started doing it, or you see they got away with it, so I'm gonna get away with it. And so we tend to, I think a lot of times we be influenced by other people. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we being influenced or impacted by other people's ways, or what I'm saying, whether it's a good or bad way.
Negative or positive.
What
right. Really who and what really influenced me? Well, to be honest, I'm influenced by people who love the Lord. I like to follow their pack. But I'm also influenced by real dancers because I love dancing. That's one of my passions. Well, when I can move, now that my legs is not moving the way they used to, I still like to dance, but I can't jitterbug like I want to. Mm-hmm. So I'm influenced by those, and I'm influenced by people who speak life into others and positive things. I try to shun away from negativity, but it do come your way. It do come around your doorstep every now and again. So yeah,
we're human.
Yeah, but if I'm on a job, I tend to try to close myself off. I try to be the influencer. Right. When I'm wherever I go, I try to be the influencer. I want them to. I like to be happy. I like to be joyous. So I try to put what is in me into somebody else, opposed to them putting it in me. And sometimes it's hard because you see they look like they're having a good time, and you see in other marriages look like, oh my God, he really loved her. Look what he bought her. Look what he got her. You see other relationships. You see other people's children just striving. They doctors and nurses. You be like, damn, why could mine be like that? Right. So sometimes things, so you try to pick up where they at and see what did you do to get your kid or your marriage or your life like that, and you want to be like that. So yeah, you can be influenced in those areas. Right.
Yeah. And I too, like I know that I'm influenced by people, who are motivating, people who like to inspire others.
Hey, Marcus.
And, be helpful. Hey, Marcus. People who are like helpful to other people and just like to help build others. Like, I don't like to be around people who are like petty. I don't like jealous people. I don't like that. The influence, I don't like that. That's like a negative. That's a thing that's what do you call it? A pet peeve of mine. I don't like that. But I love to be around people who, like I said, motivating people who love God, people who, I love to be around worship and listen to, worship, because I love worship. I love worship music. So I like, certain things like that. But like you said too, you do have to be careful, because sometimes you can allow others to influence you, other people's negative influence get to you. And like I said, sometimes it can catch you when you're not even expecting it to. You're not realizing that, I'm doing the same thing that they do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When you should try to be doing different, especially if what they're doing is not on the positive note. If it's
Right.
negative, you always want to do something positive, especially like I know us as women of God, we want to try to do as right as we possibly can. But again,
Mm.
we're not perfect. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So we're gonna make mistakes and we're gonna, maybe shun off that way when we should come this way. But I think we need to open our eyes up a little bit more to realize and notice when we're being influenced the wrong way.
That's true. As I was sitting here listening to you speak, I was thinking about trendsetters,
Mhm.
and a lot of times we're influenced by a trendsetter. And I'm saying that why we can't be our own trendsetters?
There you
What
go.
what 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 makes us? I know we have the social media people that come out and they set the trends, and we follow them. But why we can't put our own stuff out there and set a trend and let somebody follow us? Since you said you don't like to follow negative, I say I don't like to follow negative things. What is it that we can do to make things better or have somebody to follow us? What do you think that a type of impact you can have on society, while even while we're on here?
Right.
What do you think you can do to change a tone in a situation?
I would say, just let your light shine even here on the lives, on the podcast we do. Let your light shine through the videos or whatever, to the world. Let people see. I think if people see how you speak, they can see how you act and just, people will see a difference in you.
Mhm.
Even if you're in person with somebody, they can feel like it's something different about this person on a good level, not a bad level. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna use this for an example. I was at work today and I had a patient, right? She was just telling me her story as I was doing the intake and doing the vitals and everything. And she was just talking to me briefly and just telling me a little bit of her story. And just pretty much immediately she started crying. And of course, I'm giving her tissue. I was like, oh, trying to motivate her and encourage her and just lift up in her spirits because she was down or whatever. And gave her tissue, whatever, and she talked, and so we finished the conversation. Did what I need to do, get her ready for the provider. And after after the doctor was done with her, the doctor came to me and he was like, "Hey, Tempest," he was like, "I got a personal request for you." And I was like, "Oh, what's that?" He was like, "Well, Miss So and So wants you to do her vaccines." I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, I asked her if she knew you. He was like, "Oh," I said, "You must know her." And the lady was like, "No, I don't know her. I just met her when she did my intake." And he was like, "So you must have really had a great impact on her." He was like, "That was good." So
That's
you
good.
just never know. Like I said, you have to know how to treat people. You have to love, you can't be thinking about yourself. You have to know how to treat people. And people will definitely see a difference in you. They'll see you be different from other people. So
That's true.
and like you said, what can we do just even while we're on here? Like I said, just use this platform here to be positive, to speak motivational, things and speak love. Let people feel the love, even with us at the Miss V and the crew. Let them see us. Let them see the love between us and the connection and the great vibes we have, because we all energetic. We all lovely people. We all bubbly people. Let that continue to grow, not just here, but even on the outside.
Sprue over to your life.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Dawn. Dawn and Marcus, since y'all on the line, Dawn is my coworker.
Well,
She's
hello, Miss
we
Dunn.
discuss this show after we leave.
Okay.
Dawn, we was talking, and Marcus, we were talking about we listen and we don't judge. Have you played that game? And if so, um, did it how did it how did you react to the game? Was it something that made you mad, or is it something that had you to laugh? Because we were talking about we listening and we don't judge, and a little girl putting Xanax in her mama
And a drink, right?
drink every night and put her to sleep so she can sneak out. And I feel like that's a criminal offense. It's a
Even for
criminal
a
offense.
kid.
Certain things that they say that we listen and we don't judge will make me mad or
Mhm.
just get on my nerves. So we wanted to know, how would you guys feel about that? We listen and we don't judge. What do you say? Tell us, call in, let us know.
Yeah.
708-223 8953. And right now we're sitting in. This is the crew for Miss V and the crew. Miss V is out. We're sitting in her stead. We miss Miss V, but we're gonna do what we do.
That's it. We're gonna carry on the Miss V and the Crew podcast.
Yes,
you all could check us out also at IntellectualRadio.com, which is our YouTube page. So go there, check us out, like and subscribe, and follow us on YouTube. If you got comments you want to leave with us on the YouTube page at IntellectualRadio.com, you can definitely do that, and we'll make sure we go in to be responding back to you all. Okay. Who said that?
I feel that's Dawn said she's a criminal. She said, what's she gonna do next? Right. I feel like that's right. How I feel.
That's right.
And that's how I feel like when you talking about we listening, we don't judge. You got to be very, very careful with that.
That's it.
Because she started crying at a young age.
At a very young age.
In her house, on her mama.
She truly can. Right. She truly could.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't know if this was like just a skit that these people did, or was this really real? But the way that mother looked, I think that thing was real.
I think people do anything nowadays to go viral.
Come on.
Yep, that's it.
That's what it is.
That's it. To go
people
viral.
Do anything nowadays to go viral and to make a buck.
And it doesn't matter if they hurt somebody that they love or it's just for them to get likes. Mm-hmm. How many likes do you have to get?
Mm-hmm. That goes to that influence.
Yeah. The influence of those just around you. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget last week my son and I was talking and he was just telling me, he said, Mom, I was trying to tell the people you raised me to be a nice young man, very respectable. He'll come around you, my aunties and my uncles and anybody I meet on the street, like older people. He said, they said, oh, that's a nice young man. Oh, he's so respectable. You're raised right. He said, but then I get around other people, the people that you don't see, the other men like you drop me off to dance with, and then they start influencing me in a whole nother manner. So I knew to turn it off when I got home because you weren't going to have it. Right. But in the streets, I was who I was. He said, and they raised me. They grew me. It's not that you didn't teach me at home, but I spent more time with them in the streets. He said, because when I got out of school, I went to dancing. When I got out of school, I was able to hang out a little bit. He said, so I spend more time with them than you. Right. He said, so it's not that kids nowadays are not being raised right in their homes. And that's true. But who's influencing them?
That's a good one. That's
yes.
I think it's a little bit different now with cell phones. Our parents made sure to know all of our friends. It's a little bit harder because our friends just have to call our house.
That's true.
Get through our parents.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Now with cell phones, you don't really have to always meet their friends.
That's right. You're right.
Who they're around is just as scary and influential as your parenting. Your friends make a difference too.
They make a big difference. Yes. But one of the things too, we have to know who we take. Like we think we're doing good. I thought I was doing good, taking them to the park, taking them to dance practice. But everybody that say they love your child and they got the best interest for your children, they don't. Yeah. And that was the problem. It was the very people that said, somehow my baby, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm out here taking care of other people's kids, and you destroying mine.
Yeah.
So we got to be so in tune with what they're doing, and then I don't believe these days that we need to drop our kids off anymore. We need to sit there. They be like, parents, we don't need you in here. Oh, yes, you do.
But sometimes, depending on where you at, they don't allow you to stay in there.
But I'm gonna stay around.
You're gonna stay around. Yeah, you stay around.
You got to stay around.
Yeah.
When I walked in, he said no parents could stay. And it was a man, and he was taking all these kids in, and they go into a back room where the other piano's at. And I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable with this. And sure enough, maybe some months later, it was on the news that man had kidnapped, had taken some child. And
see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So a lot of times they groom kids. They groom
them.
Situations together.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
But you would think as a parent that you put them in a safe situation.
Right.
You're not necessarily harming them. You didn't leave them with. You thinking it's a respectable business. You're not thinking, and if they have rules, you think, okay, well. And a lot of times I was like, I don't feel comfortable. Some about them. Sometimes
you have that intuition though. You have that intuition. And that's the thing. that's the thing we need to follow, our intuition. And sometimes you know, people might be like, girl, you crazy. There's ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing happening. But we have to learn to listen to that intuition, because that intuition don't lie.
And
it don't lie.
And even if you don't have that intuition, you have your children say, "Mom, you doing too much.
Yeah,
you doing too much."
You know,
it don't even
always
take
say
all
that.
that. It take all that and more.
That.
Let them say you doing too much. Don't be offended by it. And because if I'm doing too much, guess what? I'm about to do a little more. And so, and now that's what my grandkids be telling me all the time. Grandma, you don't have any filter. You just say what you want to say. Yeah, because I should have said it to your mama and your uncle now. But I'm saying it to y'all.
Now I'm saying it to the grandkids. I miss them, but now I'm gonna give it to you.
I'm gonna give it to you because we let our guards down. Don said absolutely. Parents knew each other back in the day, and was less interaction now between parents. Yeah, parents don't talk to each other like they used to.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I will say this: when my son, like I was very, very, very picky, like who my children could sleep over, whose house. Like my mother personally never let me sleep over nobody's house. Like my best friends will literally live 3 houses down. And I'm like, but Mom, can I please go down the street? It's just down the street. And she always said no. And I had another one live this way, 3 houses down, but across the street. And she was always no. I used to be so angry with her, right? But as you grew up, you start realizing like it was a lot of stuff, you know, that it's a lot of stuff that goes on in people's house that you really don't know.
Yep.
Birthday party once for my daughter, and I was surprised at how many people dropped their child off.
That part and didn't come in and meet. Yes,
they drop you off.
I've had that happen too. I've given my kids. You're right. Yeah, what time to come back and get your kid? They would literally do that, honey. And now that was one. If I did take my son somewhere, he's that kid who I was. Mom, you ain't got to do all that. Mom, don't talk so loud. Mom, don't do that. And I just be like, okay, hey, how you doing? My name is Tempest. I'm his mom. What time? Da, da, da. He's be like, oh boy, you get it together. But it was only certain places that he would go. And other places, I was like, you know, good and well, I'm not gonna let you go there. Why you even asking that question? But you have to, and even then, you still taking a chance. Yeah.
The good mom. Let the follower.
Right. That's influenced by the other parents. See,
I'm not easily influenced.
Yeah, me neither.
But all of my kids. Friends, they mothers, I met them all.
Yeah.
I go to their house, I dropped them off. I was doing everything. It's just when they got to high school, I got a little
things
linear.
Change. Yeah, things
a little
change.
bit more linear and lenient and everything like that. And that's when they came into their own.
Yeah.
But I thank God that the values that I gave them is still there, but that the streets would influence them.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraging parents right now. Go to the school where your kid at. Get to know every teacher. I was in the school system. I wanted to know the parents, you know, because when you get with the parents and you get to talking to the parents, they're gonna make sure that your child is taken care of. I know I can call Miss Johnson any day because Miss Johnson gonna agree with me and she's gonna make sure that I can chastise you, you know, and stuff like that. So I try to build a relationship. And if any of my students are watching, they can tell you. I try to build a relationship with their parents, and then we all, you know, get together and stuff. Outside of school, I got this little Ford Taurus, and y'all before all the seatbelts came out, we packed up in the car going. But we have to make sure that we are the biggest influence for our children.
Yeah.
We got to make sure. We can't trust that because Sue look good and Sue go to church and Sue pray in your face. You don't know what Sue doing when you gone.
That's right.
You don't know.
Right. So it don't matter whether you church or not in church. I mean, we know folks be in church and things happen.
But
a lot of stuff didn't happen in the church. Not that we talking about churches, so please, that's not what we saying. We just giving it an example. Things can happen anywhere. Whether it's in the schools system or in the school or whether it's in the church, just like it happens in the home.
It does.
Family members. So you definitely have to be careful what you allow your children to do and where you allow them to go.
Yeah, they can be influenced by anything. So we want you chime in. Let us know what you think. The biggest influence and the impacts on you, your children. It don't necessarily have to be the children because it can be you. Sometimes people as adults, you haven't experienced certain things because you were taught different. Then you get to a certain age, and now you are introduced to things that you never, you never tried, and all of a sudden they look at you and say, "Dang, she a drunk, she a hype, she this." I remember when she was praying. I remember when she had them kids, and now she a hype just like everybody else because you tried something one time. Somebody introduced you into something that you had no clue of, and you thought it was good. We all can be influenced. It doesn't being influenced doesn't have an age, doesn't have a size. It takes the strength. It takes your heart and your mind together to be strong enough to say, no, I'm not going to try that. And then sometimes we are influenced under duress. We're going through certain things in our lives, and people take advantage of us in our moment of weakness. And they say, take this pill right here. It's going to let you relax. And when you're grieving and you're going through a situation and they give you something that makes you relax and it makes you feel good, and all of a sudden you want that thing some more. You want it. And you want it some more, and you want it some more. And now you're addicted to something that you didn't even have a clue. You didn't even have a clue, but somebody introduced you. You can be influenced any kind of way.
Yeah.
And with that being said, this is the season of us going through. A lot of people have lost loved ones around this time. I know I've lost 2 brothers, a nephew, and so many aunties and uncles. It's just niece, nephew. It's a lot of stuff, and a lot of people losing people. And my mom's birthday was 2 days ago. She would have been 80 if she would have been alive. And so during this season, a lot of times we get depressed. We go through situations in our hearts and everything. And I just want to encourage everybody to just think about the joyous things that your loved ones did with you and for you, or whatever it is. And maybe you don't have enough money to pay your bills with, and you feeling like you at your end of the rope and you feel like throwing in the towel. I want to admonish you and encourage you to pick that towel back up. Hold on a little while longer. It's gonna get better. It's gotta get better. Don't let this season of darkness, because 4 o'clock is very dark outside, and it weighs on you. It weighs on us at times, and so I don't want you to be influenced by the negativity that's around you, the darkness that's around you. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and I just want to encourage somebody during this holiday season, because that's when stuff start to happen. That's when people start saying, nobody loves me, and what do the lonely, the song, what do the lonely do at Christmas? You need a relationship. The relationship didn't happen the way you want to, or you broke up at this time and the kids is acting up and you still can't buy them any Christmas gift. The job just laid you off and you feeling abandoned, and all those kind of things can happen. And we just feel down in our spirit. I want you to know that there's light at the end of the road. There's light. Don't allow yourself to fall into a pit. Don't allow yourself to be rested in it. Just don't be influenced by the negative things that's happening around you. Remember the good times. Remember when you had it. And if it happened once, it can happen again, right?
You're right. You're right. You said it well. She said it well. And like you said, this is that time of the season where a lot of times people do get down and depressed, especially if you lost a loved one around this time. Because myself, I lost my mother in November of 2016. So it's always like right before, and her birthday was in October the 29th. So it's always around October-ish, November-ish, I just started having these feelings of, sadness or whatever. So the feelings of sadness, that spirit will come upon you, but you have to know how to, maneuver it. Like, don't let that sadness just sit on you so heavy and for too long. Like, it's okay, to sit back and maybe think, and you're going to cherish, and, you're going to cherish the memories of your loved ones. That's nothing wrong with that. I mean, again, that's what we're supposed to do. You can shed your tears, you can cry or whatever, but don't stay in it. Don't cry, forever. Don't stay sad forever. Just think of the memories, the good memories that you have with your loved ones, and allow that to, keep you going and stay motivated. And just as my sister said, a lot of times this season, the holiday, a lot of times I think we forget what this season really is about and what this holiday really is about. And because of a lot of ways that we were trained, we was trained to, hey, we're gonna go Christmas shopping. We got to buy this, we got to buy this. We need this, what you want, what you want. Like even me and my family, we do a grab bag, try to make it a little bit easier to do a grab bag. And of course, get stuff for the grandkids. But a lot of times we put so much emphasis on Christmas that we forget about Christ in Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So we so caught up on the material things, on the tangible things that I want to get, I wish I can have. So don't get so caught up on that either, because that too makes people stressful. You hear a lot of people being stressed and depressed, during this Christmas holiday because they couldn't afford it. Like I said, maybe you lost your job, or your hours got cut, or different things happened that made it impossible for you to get the things that maybe your children want, or get the things that maybe your spouse wants. So just, I would say, don't get so caught up in this, the tangible things of Christmas. Just come together, I would say, as family. Just love on each other. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times some people are close knit in families and they come together often, but some people are not. And sometimes people take the holidays to try to come together, whatever. So I would just say, just love on each other. And like I said, if you are somebody who did lose a loved one throughout this time of the year, cherish those moments. You will never forget them. And shed your tears, do what you do, but don't stay in that grieving moment for long. You got to come up out of it, because I'm sure that your loved ones will want you to continue to live on. Continue to live on and do what you have to do. And like she said, know that even if you're going through your dark moments, you got to know that God is there. God is with you even in the darkness. You might not see him, but he's there. It's just like, if have you ever been in a situation where you be in a real dark room or whatever, you can't see anything, but if you put your hand up or whatever, you can feel, you can't see where your hand, but you can feel that presence of it. And that's how God is. Like, we can be in our very, very dark moments, in life, and you just feel like nothing is there, God ain't there, whatever, but you got to know God is there. So don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. Keep striving. And don't, just know that God is there, he's with you.
Yeah, I don't know why it's heavy on my heart, but I want to also say that what is in you must come out of you. A lot of times we're afraid to go to a therapist or seek counseling or whatever. What's in you must come out of you, because if you let it stay in you, it's gonna build. What's in you must come out of you. And I'm speaking from a place of a person who's overcome depression. What's in you must come out of you. So if you got a journal, write it down. Now I don't do all the writing like I used to. I got notes in my phone. So that thing that's in me that bothers me at that moment, what I do is I'm sorry, guys. That thing that's in me, and what I do is I speak it into my phone, and I get it out. Like, I speak in my phone like I'm speaking to a person in my notes. That way what's in me won't hold me down. I just went to the doctor the other day, and the doctor was like, you need to get some rest. You're stressed. So stress and worry and depression, all that comes in this season. I just want to admonish somebody, because I know I wasn't the only one. Write it down, get it off of you. That's the main thing. Don't hold it in. Find that trusted friend. If you don't have that trusted friend, you get a journal. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. If you can't get a journal, use your phone. Use the notes in your phone. Mostly everybody got a phone. You online, you got a phone. Speak it into your phone. Speak it into the notes. Those are you can journal like that. But I just want to admonish somebody in this season, because I felt in my heart that somebody that's listening to us is really going through. They really trying their best, and they feel like their best is not good enough. They're really they smiling in everybody's face, and everybody thinking they're happy, and everybody think they're good, but in the heart and on the inside they're not good, but they're afraid to bring it out, because people not listening and judge. They gonna listen, but they gonna judge. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna listen and judge, and you're afraid to let it all out, but you can. You don't have to tell a person. You can tell yourself. Speak to your phone. Speak to yourself. Write it down. Get it out. But what's in you have to come out of you in order for you to feel better, in order for you to grow. And if you agree with me, tell me how you feel. Speak about it. If you can encourage someone else, and if you're on this line and you feel like I've been there and I want to encourage somebody else, I want to lift their spirit, tap in, call in, just share with us what you're thinking at 708-223-8953. You can call in, you can tap it in, or you can just type it in on the type in your comment. Hi, Bella. How you doing?
Yeah.
You can type it in on the comments and everything. We just want to make sure that you're happy, because Christmas is next week, and everybody's not gonna get what they want. I don't even think I'm gonna get a present, but it's okay. Everybody's not gonna get what they want, but the joy of the Lord is my strength. There's joy on the inside of me that I'm never gonna let man take away from me.
That's it.
We gotta speak those things in our hearts and in our lives, right?
Yeah, you're right. And I want to say, it's not even just that it's Christmas, even though we're saying that, but we're saying that because we know that during the holiday season, a lot of times people get stressed. People get stressed and people are under pressure because, the finances is not like they want it to be. And again, it's so much pressure on getting these gifts. So a lot of times people get really stressed and burned out because they can't give a gift to their child or the spouse or whatever. But we're not just saying, that people feel like this during Christmas. People are depressed, period. So a lot of and we, like she said, we wanted to talk about this. We did speak about this in an earlier podcast. We talked about depression, but depression is something that's so serious. And I would be honest, at one point, I didn't really understand the seriousness of depression, and that it would be good for a person to seek therapy, whatever. I was just, hey, just pray, just talk to God and this and that, because again, I wasn't raised in a household where it was like, hey, if you're dealing with stress or depression, go speak to a therapist. It wasn't honestly until recently, maybe since I've been older, really recently, that, it came to me, it was brought to me by a family member, like, hey, I know you say, talk to God and this and that, and we do, or I do, but I still feel like something is wrong. And so that thing stuck with me. It was like, wow. Then I got into this class, and then we was taught about the different, depression and, being, counseling people and this and this and that. And I was like, wow, this thing is really deep. It's deeper than what we think. And me, myself, I've been through a moment where I was stressed and I was under pressure and I was depressed for a period of time. And I did too. I started picking up my phone. I write in my journal, but I started picking up my phone, and one of my children told me about that. Like, that's what they do. They talk on the phone and that. So saying all that to say, find something to get out what you are carrying. Do not carry all of that weight. Do not carry all of that stress, because that stress and depression can lead to strokes. It can lead to heart attack. It can lead to death. And life, I tell people, life is precious. It's all about what we make it. We might not have everything we want, but we have everything we need, even though we don't realize we have it. We have what we need, but we might not have what we want, but find a way, find an outlet to get that stuff out of your system. Get it out. Do not let it take you out. God loves you. You are worthy to be around. There's a purpose for your life. God has a destiny. He has a plan for you. So please do not abort your life, because God has some great things in store for you. So you got to find an outlet, whether it's your phone, whether it's a journal, whether it's therapy. Don't be afraid to seek therapy. Do what you got to do so that you can live a purposeful life as God has intended for you to do.
That's right. Miss Wanda?
Ladies, I'm here. I'm the engineer on the Miss B and the crew show, as I'm here with the crew today. And lady, I'm just going to use your first name. Tracy said, yeah, I'm finding out. This is when you all were talking about the children. She has a couple comments. She said, my 17-year-old has shown me. And then she said, I appreciate y'all. I don't know how I got here, but I'm glad I did.
Oh, wow.
The devil has been in my way.
All right.
Look at God. Come on, Tracy.
God.
We're going to be lifting you up in prayer.
Yes, Tracy.
God,
will. And your 17-year-old.
And your 17-year-old. God let you find this lab for a reason.
It's for a reason.
He makes no mistakes. You got to know that. He makes no mistakes. He knows exactly what we need and when we need it. So it was meant for you to find us.
And we appreciate that. And what we want to do is, when we talk to you, we talk to ourselves as well. When we encourage you, we trying to encourage ourselves and keep ourselves motivated as well. And I just believe there's a purpose for everything that we're doing. There's a purpose, and we all just got to push past it. We can't just sit down on it. And these kids right now, they're growing older. And as they're getting bigger, they bigger than what they used to.
Yeah.
My kids, when they was coming up, they used to look all scrawny. These little boys look like grown men, look like they 30, 40 years old. So, and it's challenging. It's challenging. I also read today, because I do a lot of reading on the news, that a young man went into a rage because his mama took his phone and he beat her to a pulp.
Yeah.
We can't, somewhere down the line, he felt comfortable enough to put his hands on his mom.
Yeah.
We have to discipline our kids early. We have
We have
to
to. Yeah.
be disciplinarians. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah.
We have to set boundaries as to where they don't feel comfortable enough to even raise their voices
Right.
to a certain degree
Yeah.
at us, and put their hands on us. And I just feel for the mother, but I feel for the mother, but we're taking back our children.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking back our community. We're taking back our health. We're taking it back. Everything that the enemy stole from us, we're taking it back.
Amen.
We're taking back our community. We're taking them back right
Yeah.
now. And we're just trying to encourage somebody on
That's
today.
it. And I just want to say, just kind of going to what you're saying real quick. I know we got to wrap it up, but a lot of times, sometimes we do the best, the very best that we can to try and raise our children to be the best. But sometimes, yet again, them being influenced from that outside, it's like, the kid, we do our best to discipline, we spare the rod, we do this and that, but sometimes that kid, once they get on that outside and you're not looking, they feel like, oh, I'm free because my mama always hollering, my mama always disciplined,
Yeah,
she
my
always
daddy,
saying this, or my
yeah.
daddy this or that. So they get on that outside, and sometimes that outside overpowers them from what we're doing. So it's like a war. Our children are in a war. Actually, I would say right now, these children are in a spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they don't even understand it. But I personally, because I am a woman of God, and I a lot of things I say, it's gonna be godly because that's just who I am and that's what's in me. So, and I make no apologies for keep saying God, God, God. That's just who I am. Because some people might say, "Oh, you did." Yep, that's who I am. That's who I'm gonna speak about. But I would say, if you are a spiritual person, if you are somebody who believes in God, pray for your children, because the social media has a strong hold on our generation. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not even just the children. Social media has a stronghold on even on us as adults. Sometimes we can be in the same household, spouses, and we and you over there and I'm over here, and we in our phones. Everybody be in the house. You got the whole household, everybody in each room, everybody on their devices. So social media, this technology, this new stuff is taking control. But I would say this to any parent who is struggling with your children, to Miss Tracy, if you have a relationship with God, pray for your children. Start fasting for your children, and try to, even get with your child if you can, because some of these kids are rebellious. You really can't do a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a tuggle. It's a fight. But do the best that you can. Pray for your children, whatever you do. If you can't do nothing else, don't stop praying. I don't care what it looks like. You might not see the transformation right now, but eventually God will transform that thing and change it. And I'm sorry, your child, you'll see some better things, and just try to do what you can to build a excuse me, a relationship, like I said, with God. If you don't know him, man, get to know him.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I say communicate with your children, but most importantly, don't beat yourself up.
Don't.
You are a good parent.
Yes.
You've done your best. You're training them up the best way you know how. So you don't beat yourself up. Don't waddle in pity or any of that. Just continue to stand firm.
Yes.
Raise them in a way that you know how to raise them. A lot of times we don't want to raise them like our parents raised us, but sometimes we got to reach back and do that. But do your best, but just know that it's not you. It's not you. We are not fighting against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities. So trust your instinct, raise your child, and stay true to what you do. We thank you for tuning in today, and we
Yes.
just pray and hope that we've said something that will impact your life in a positive way. We said something that'll help you get through the holiday season, this winter season, this darkness dark cloud that's over the sky so early. We hope that you continue to tune in to Miss V and the crew.
Yeah.
We miss Miss V today.
We miss
We
her.
hope she's having a great time wherever
Yes.
she is. We appreciate her, and we just thank you guys for coming in. We thank you all for your support. We ask that you would just continue to come back and support us on Thursdays at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Continue to just help us get our names known in your house, or help us if there's a topic that you want to hear and something that you want us to talk about. Send it to us. We're new, we're fresh, we're coming out the woodworks, and we need your support and we need your help. And we just thank you. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. Thank you for everything that you do.
Yes, thank you all for joining us here at the Miss V and the Crew podcast. Again, you can find us at IntellectualRadio.com. That is our YouTube channel. If you would be so kind to go to that channel, what they say, like, hit, and subscribe, and follow us there at the Miss V and the Crew on IntellectualRadio.com. We love you guys. We're praying for you. We're not sure if you'll see us next week because it is Christmas. Well, the day after Christmas, right? So we might be here, and then again we might not. But if not,
we want Miss V will be here.
Miss V will be here. But you all have a blessed one, and we love y'all. Thank you for your support. Keep on following us,
Bella,
and put the word out there for us.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Bye.
It keeps me straight.